When it comes to the Spider-Man role, it seems like that Tom Holland definitely has had the time of his life and a very few negative things to say about the whole experience. Outside of that whole tug of war over Spider-Man between Disney and Sony that happened a few years ago, it's all been good. But he does have one major regret in regards to when he got the job, and this involves Andrew Garfield. Tom Holland taking on the mantle of Spider-Man was something that sort of felt inevitable. Well, okay, not Tom Holland himself, like, Spider-Man being recast with a younger actor, especially after the bad experience that Sony had with Andrew Garfield and he had with them. There was almost no choice that was going to be ever satisfactory to either side to see Andrew Garfield return as Spider-Man for the MCU at the time. Of course, we know that things have changed since then. Recently, speaking with Yahoo, Tom Holland was asked about taking up the mantle of Spider-Man and what it's been like this journey, and if he has any regrets in terms of anything related to Spider-Man taking on the job or anything. And he says that there's just one major regret in regards to his entire time as Spider-Man. And he says when he took over as Spider-Man, he wishes that he could have and should have called Andrew Garfield and made amends. Tell him, hey, I'm going to be taking your job. I'm going to be the new Spider-Man. I just want you to know that this was a decision that the studios made. I'm taking the job, and hopefully there's no hard feelings. Now, I don't think Andrew Garfield personally would have felt, slighted or attacked or anything, but I can see why Tom feels the way he does. Because to him, probably for the longest time, he felt guilty. Like, Andrew Garfield suddenly had his character ripped away from him, especially when you started to see those interviews and what he was saying and how he really felt like he never got to be the Spider-Man he knew he could be. And you just got to kind of tie all this around to, well, I guess where he returns as Spider-Man and everything seems to finally work out for him. And they truly do make amends and things do come together. But I do appreciate that if you look at Tom Holland and what he's saying, he's like, my biggest regret is not telling the previous guy that I'm taking his money. Like, that's pretty awesome, right? It's like, look, it was inevitable. Somebody was going to do it. Tom Holland didn't even have to say anything like this. And he says, had it been me, I would have been heartbroken. So I wish that whoever replaced me would have called me. And he feels bad that he didn't. But that just kind of tells you about the type of person that Tom is being here, which honestly, let's be real. Many people in Hollywood, you get fired and you find out on the internet. Like, so it's one of those things where, yeah, Tom Holland understands. And I'm glad that he honestly just went out there and said, look, I'm sorry I didn't call you, but hopefully things worked out and you enjoyed your time being back, which we can tell he did.